Just be glad for all you have that's in today.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to One Piece, episodes 783 to 784. 2 episodes this time, and we are finally getting into the Whole Cake Island arc. So yeah, I have been told by a friend that Whole Cake Island does start in this arc. I really wish I hadn't been. She did kind of let that slip. It's not that huge of a deal. I kind of figured anyways after last arc concluding the entire thing with Grout and all, and that Navy base. I assumed that's usually how One Piece tends to go. If they're gonna have a break for some just random shit between arcs, they're gonna have this like little mini arc right before the new arc starts. I believe they did that before going into Zou as well. Before the Zou arc, they had this other one with, I think this guy who controlled steel or something like that. There was this entire underground or underwater, like, steel plant or something like that. I don't remember exactly. Again, it's been a long time, so I don't remember all the details. But there was something like that between Dressrosa and Zou. But yeah, we're finally getting to Whole Cake Island, and I'm really excited for a couple reasons. One, I think I mentioned this before, but I've been watching One Piece again recently, from the beginning, because I found this reactor named Super Mecha Frieza, and she does One Piece reactions. She does it in the same style that like Blind Wave or Normies do it, where they only show like bits and pieces and everything. They don't like show the entire episode. So it's like it's only like certain parts of the episodes, but again, I've seen it all, so it's not that big a deal. It's not that big a deal to watch it that way. And she still posts all the good parts for all the very good reaction-worthy parts. So, she's also really obsessed with Zoro. Like she has major crush on Zoro. But yeah, watching again from the beginning, it's just reminded me of how great One Piece was, like, right from the beginning. With the Romance Dawn arc, you had Buggy the Clown, the Baratier, the Arlong Park arc, which is easily one of the best of the entire series, and so on and so forth. They actually, where I'm at right now, I actually just finished her reactions to Arlong Park specifically. But yeah, I'm excited to get into more of this, especially because of just being reminded of how much I do love this series. And so I'm excited to see where this new arc goes, because we are getting into more Sanji. And Sanji was always one of my favorites, and this arc does go a lot more into him. I do know that his family is involved. I do know that his surname Vinsmoke is revealed. I knew all this stuff beforehand. It was stuff I couldn't avoid in that long period of time when I wasn't watching. I don't know all the details. I don't know all the details still. I know he's set to be engaged to one of Big Mom's daughters, I believe. But again, I don't know exactly how it's going to go, so we're still mostly blind. But yeah, I really can't wait to see more Sanji focus. It sucks that we're not going to have any Zoro or Robin. I mean, they are my two favorites. But, I mean, it's fine. It's fine. The next big arc after this is going to be Wano, I do know, and I know Zoro's going to have a huge focus in that, so. It's the unfortunate outcome of having been away from the series for so long. I do know stuff going into it. But again, I don't know all the details, so we're still good. Either way, I can't wait to see exactly what we got for this episode, how this arc is going to begin. I wonder if we're going to see Big Mom right away or not, or if we're going to see Sanji right away or not. All we know is that our current set of crew are going to Whole Cake Island, which is, we have Luffy, we have Nami, we have Carrot, and then we have the two other the two others, Peckham's and what is the other guy's name? I can never remember his name. But yeah, we have that crew at the moment. Um, I am interested to see what they do here. I'm interested to see all the action, all the story, all the character development. And hopefully, hopefully it doesn't go on as long as Dressrosa did, because Dressrosa was ridiculous with how long it was. But either way, I do have to get this going because in just over an hour I am leaving. It is Thursday, and I waited too long to get to this today. um, so yeah, I do have to get going on this, but I'm excited to. I am excited to do so. So that being said, when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black, then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episodes. So that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. Okay, and we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So, the whole Cake Island arc has begun. And we're getting things started right off the bat with some interesting stuff. So there's kind of two parts to this, two separate things going on. And I'll start with the one that was less focused on, Sanji himself. So we see Sanji has arrived at what I assume is Whole Cake Island after being on the ship and everything with Big Mom's crew. We see he's led to his room where by this guy named Vito. I don't know if Vito is related to any of the families or if they're just someone, if he's just someone else. Same goes with the other guy who kind of jumped in and tried to attack Sanji almost. Yeah, we also see in Sanji's room, we have Caesar Clown, who is locked up. It's been a while since we've seen him. He was in a bit of the Dressrosa arc. But, yeah, it's been a while. So we see that Sanji clearly acknowledges that Charlotte Pudding, his fiance to be, is really cute. And from the picture we saw, she definitely is. But he still has no plans to get married. So it's interesting to see where this is going to go with that. It's like what his overall plan is going to be. And so, yeah, there's not too much about that. We find out that there's apparently this comic strip where the villains are this group called Jerma 66. And apparently, Jerma 66 is also the name of a group of warmongers helmed by Sanji's father. Alright, which kind of explains why Vito was, lumping Sanji into that group. It's saying, you, in reference to it, and Sanji's like, I'm not part of that, and something, and all that jazz. So that's interesting. But the bigger focus here was on the actual crew, of course. So they end up catching this fish after starving for days and days and days and all during their travels. They catch this fish, and while Chopper goes to find out about it in Sanji's notes and everything, Luffy just starts eating. He eats the skin, which we find out is poisonous, which eventually, after his antibodies start weakening, the poison really starts to affect him, to the point where he's not even able to eat and stuff. Despite the fact that Nami actually cooked up the flesh of the fish, apparently really well, following Sanji's cooking instructions. But, because, yeah, it's only the skin that's actually deadly. So we see they are trying to figure it out, but Chopper is low on medicinal herbs, the stuff he needs to be able to help Luffy. And that's when they come across Jerma 66. Specifically a ship that seems to be helmed by two specific people. Sanji's younger brother Yanji, again, at least we assume younger, and then also Vinsmoke Reiju, who is the older sister of Yanji, and I don't know where in that she would place with Sanji though. Like, is Sanji the oldest, um, or is Reiju actually older? I'm not sure. But Yanji seems like this kind of selfish jackass type character, and even Reiju admits that. It's like, stop being so stingy, and she jumps down onto the Thousand Sunny in what appears to be an actually nice way. Like, I don't think she's a bad guy here. I don't think she's going to be like doing anything here. I actually think she's going to help, specifically because, again, she referred to Yanji as being stingy, and then referred to him also as a jackass. So I assume by that context and what she said, she's actually going to help them out. So I'm interested to see exactly where that goes in the next set of episodes. But yeah, our heroes are reaching the outer islands surrounding Whole Cake Island. And we're starting to see the cotton candy flurry that Sanji also went through in the first episode. So it's like, yeah, they're not far behind Sanji, it seems. As I mentioned during the early part of the reaction, it is great getting to see this arc, which focuses so much on Sanji, after having seen the Baratier arc again. Because as I mentioned, I had been rewatching the series through Super Mecha Frieza's reactions, and as I mentioned, I had just finished up with the Arlong Park arc in those reactions, but that's like the arc right after the Baratier. So I did just very recently watch Baratier again, and so yeah, I assume we're gonna find out Sanji's backstory to the degree where it's like we're gonna find out how he eventually ended up on that ship as kind of this like young chef in training before Zeph raided it and all the shit went down. I assume we're going to find that out at some point, and I assume we're going to just learn more about Sanji and his relationship with his family in general. Because here's the thing, Sanji was really freaking young when he was on that ship. Like, he'd been, what, like maybe 10 years old? And that's in comparison to, like, in the series, when he first debuted in the series, I believe he was 18. Because Luffy was 17, and I believe he was a year older than that. I might be wrong about that. I could check. It wouldn't be hard. Sanji. Here we go. Yeah, because this article here should tell the age he's at the beginning of the series. Oh, he's 19 at debut. Okay. So he's currently 21. So he's 19 at the very beginning compared to Luffy, who's 17. Okay, so he's 2 years older. But still, if the events that happened when he was younger was like maybe 10 years ago, 9 or 10 years ago, he would have been 9 or 10 years old. And so it's like he was pretty young. If maybe he ran away, that's insane to do at that age. Like, here's the thing. When I was a kid, I ran away from home a couple of times. There was one time where I ran away from home and for hours, like, tried to hide out, even went to my friend's house and stuff, and I lied about, like, oh, my parents said I could stay the night and stuff. I was eventually found. I was, but yeah, it's like there were multiple occasions where I did that. I mean, a lot of kids do. A lot of kids have tried to run away and all that for various reasons here and there. But it's like, he really ran, apparently. Like, more than just like, oh, sneaking off to a friend's house or something. No, he apparently ran away to such a degree that he just started a new life aboard this other ship. And then eventually, again, was ended up being raised by Zeph after they survived on that little rocky island. So it's like, all of this time, years have passed since he started his journey with Luffy. There was a 2-year time skip. And even so, there would have been a good amount of time that passed between the events of him joining and the end of the pre-time skip stuff. There would have been a good time between that. Probably at least months. And there also would have been a good amount of time since they returned to Sabayati after the time skip to current. So there would be quite a bit of time there. So it's like, it's insane to think about exactly how much time has passed before he was eventually brought back into things with his family. I assume that they had no reason to go after him or whatnot before now. I assume that there was no real reason. I guess it's just because of the engagement to Pudding and how that's finally been coming up that they had to get him. And of course, Capone Beige and all that working with Big Mom is how all of this came to be, basically. So yeah, it's definitely interesting to see where this is kind of going. I don't know exactly how this is going to end up. I don't know. I assume, of course, Big Mom and her crew are the bad guys of this, but I don't know, like, how deep that goes. Like, are all of the Charlotte family bad guys? Or is, like, Pudding, for example, going to actually be pretty cool? And pretty nice? And how is the Vinsmokes family going to be? Are there going to be bad guys and good guys in that family? Or is it going to just kind of be one way or the other? It's really hard to tell at this point. I mean, granted, we haven't seen much of them. But yeah, I also did mention how there was the one member of the Charlotte family. We even saw come into Sanji's room and take the other two out. Well, mostly the big short-tempered one, whose name I can't think of at the moment. But yeah, she definitely had to be the same person who was on Thriller Bark. I mean, it had to be. Even Sanji, like, they made a point of Sanji recognizing her. So it's like, it has to be. And I think I mentioned before that I think I heard that was the case. Something along that. I either heard about it somewhere or someone just, like, spoiled it for me. I don't remember the exact details behind it when I learned about that. And I wasn't even 100% sure if it was true. It's just... But I mean, clearly it is. So yeah. That's interesting in and of itself. But I guess, like I said, we'll just have to see where this goes. Right now, my favorite post-time skip arc is easily Dressrosa. Easily Dressrosa. I loved, even though it was extremely long and honestly could have been very easily cut back quite a lot, it was just the most entertaining, had some of the best backstory, one of the greatest villains in this series with Doflamingo, some great stuff with Law, the introduction of Admiral Fujitora, and so many more things. And then we have the other arcs of this post time skip haven't been as exciting, to be honest. The Fishman Island arc was good, except for the villain, Hody Jones, or was it Hody or Hordy? Either way, he was just kind of silly. I didn't like him. He felt like he was a rehash of Arlong and not a good rehash. We also had what was it called? The island with Caesar Clown on it, where he was kind of the main bad guy. I can't think of what it was called, but we had that as well. You know, Virgo was there, and I think Monet, and I think my little notification thing just went off again. Sorry about that. Um, but yeah, it's just like so far the other stuff we've had. I like the Zoe arc. Um, Admittedly, partially because I am a casual furry, and I really get into furry design characters, especially the really cute ones like Wanda and Carrot. Um, but yeah, I legitimately enjoyed the characters and the stuff we had with that. Plus, it was definitely building up to some more stuff with like Kaido and whatnot. So yeah, I really like that as well. But even so, I feel pre-time skip so far has just been overall better. But maybe that can start to change. Maybe this whole Cake Island arc will be fantastic, and maybe the Wano arc afterwards will be as well. We'll just kind of have to see. In the meantime, in the meantime, uh, tell me what you thought about these episodes down in the comments below, and thank you so much for tuning in. Once again, no spoilers. Don't tell me what's going to happen. Don't tell me if I'm right or wrong about anything. Unless it's like just minor stuff that doesn't really matter to the plot. If it's a real spoiler, don't tell me. You guys know at this point what I consider spoilers. So either way, yeah, thank you so much. And for now, I'm Connie and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.
And though you've come through many obstacles,